Hey there, and welcome to This Explainer. I am so pumped you're joining us today. We're diving into ninth grade English, specifically Unit 1, Week 5, Class 2. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Grammar, strict rules, heavy textbooks, endless flashcards. But actually, let's toss that idea right out the window. Grammar isn't just a bunch of arbitrary rules to make your life harder. It's literally the ultimate tool for storytelling. Think about it. You use the past tense all the time. Texting your friends about a wild weekend, explaining to your parents why you missed curfew, desperately trying to convince your teacher why your homework was late. That's you weaving a narrative in the simple past. It's how we take our chaotic, awesome, everyday experiences and share them clearly with the world. So today, we're unlocking the true power of the simple past tense so you can start telling your own stories with complete confidence. Okay, let's dive into this. Here is our roadmap for today. First up, we're tackling a quick spelling challenge. Then we'll master the simple past. After that, you'll jump into your happy memory activity, and we'll wrap the whole shebang up with some reflection and metacognition. Section 1, the spelling challenge, active recall. We're kicking things off right now with a super quick brain warm-up. This is an I do, we do, you do challenge to test your active recall of irregular verbs. No notes, just your memory. Here are the 3 steps. Number 1, I'll dictate a past tense verb, and your job is to spell it. Number 2, state its base form. And number 3, make a complete sentence using that simple past verb. You're going to get exactly 10 seconds to do this for each word. And hey, if your brain completely freezes for a second, do not panic. That friction is exactly how you build those cognitive muscles. Before I start the clock, let me model this for you so we're all completely on the same page. If I say the word went, you would first spell it out. W-E-N-T. Then you tell me the base form, which is go. And finally, construct a sentence, like, yesterday I went to the store. See? Super simple. We're not just memorizing random letters, we're bringing the word to life instantly. All right, get a pen ready, or just prepare to speak up loud and proud. Here is your very first word, drank. Spell it, state the base form, and give me a sentence. You have 10 seconds. Go. Take a deep breath, trust your gut, you've got this. Just a few more seconds to finish that sentence. All right, time is up. Hold on to that answer. Let's keep that thrilling classroom urgency going. Word number 2, slept. Remember the 3 steps. 10 seconds on the clock. Go. Spell it out, find the base, make it a story. You're doing great, almost there. And time. Fantastic focus. Third and final word coming at you, bot. Spell it out, use by as your base form, and build that sentence. 10 seconds. Go. This one is a little tricky, so really think about those silent letters. 3, 2, 1. Time is up. Awesome effort, everyone. Seriously. All right, let's reveal those answers. Number 1 was drank, spelled D-R-A-N-K. Base form, drink. Number 2 was slept, spelled S-L-E-P-T. Base form, sleep. And number 3, often the trickiest one, was bought, spelled B-O-U-G-H-T, and the base form is buy. Give yourself a massive pat on the back for tackling that. Let's be real for a second. English spelling can be so incredibly frustrating. Words like bought with their silent G and H, they're basically linguistic fossils left over from hundreds of years ago. They completely ignore the normal rules, which is exactly why we have to actively practice memorizing them today. Section 2. Master the simple past. The mechanics of memory. So now that our spelling gears are turning, let's move to the core theory and see how this builds from isolated words into rich, expressive sentences. We've basically got 3 main building blocks here. First up, regular verbs. The rule here is a total breeze. Generally just add an ed or d, so walk easily becomes walked. Nice, neat, and predictable. Second, we have those irregular verbs we just practiced. Their spelling shifts completely, or sometimes they stubbornly stay exactly the same, like take becoming took. Finally, we have the absolute MVP of English storytelling, the verb to be, which turns into was or were depending on the subject. I was, they were. Why is it the MVP? Because it sets the entire mood. Before any action even happens, it tells us if the character was happy or if the room was dark. These 3 elements are the mechanical gears running inside every single story you tell. But here's the thing, verbs alone aren't quite enough. Your story needs a setting in time. Think of past time expressions kind of like establishing shots in a movie. You know, yesterday, yesterday morning, last night, last week, 2 days ago, an hour ago. Before the action kicks off, your audience needs to know exactly when they are. Using these expressions alongside your verbs gives your listeners the specific vocabulary anchors they crave. It firmly plants your narrative in a specific moment so nobody gets lost in time. And here is where we see the real magic happen. Let's look at a present state. I am at home and I cook dinner. It's a fine sentence, it works, but it's happening right now. Now let's time travel to a past narrative. Last night I was at home and I cooked dinner. Boom. By adding the time expression last night, swapping to the past tense verb was, and slapping an ed onto cooked, we completely transport the reader. We literally rewrote the timeline of the story with just 3 tiny tweaks. It proves that grammar isn't just a boring checklist, it's practically a time machine. Section 3. Your happy memory activity. Show, then do. We've got the mechanics, the vocabulary, and the structure down, so let's shift into our practical application phase. Before I set you loose, listen to this model of a perfectly crafted happy memory. Last year, I went to the beach with my grandparents. The sun was warm and the water was perfect. We swam in the ocean and collected beautiful shells. Later, we ate delicious seafood. It was a wonderful day. Notice that establishing shot right off the bat, last year. Notice the action driven by regular verbs like went, swam, and ate, mixed perfectly with the regular verb collected. And look at the powerful use of was to set that warm, perfect mood. What makes this so effective isn't just the grammar, it's the rhythm. The mix of short, descriptive sentences creates this breezy, nostalgic pace. In just about 40 words, it paints a beautifully vivid picture. All right, it is your turn. Here is your direct call to action. I want you to grab Worksheet 5, Part 2. Your mission is to write a text of approximately 80 words describing a happy memory from your own life. You're going to use the exact grammar and time expressions we just covered. Now, if hearing 80 words makes you want to panic, please don't. 80 words is literally just 5 to 7 sentences. It is a completely achievable goal. Think about the structure of that modeled paragraph we just read and apply it to a memory from your own life. If you're sitting there thinking, I don't know what to write about, nothing interesting ever happens to me, scratch that. Let's spark some ideas. What about your last birthday? Maybe it was a birthday where everything went hilariously wrong, but you still laughed until your sides hurt. You could write about a trip to the beach or the mountains, that one sunny day where the weather was just right, or maybe just a quiet, cozy afternoon visiting your grandparents' house. Pick a memory that makes you smile, and let the simple past tense do the heavy lifting of telling that story. Section 4. Reflection and metacognition. Identifying critical knots. As we glide into the cool-down phase of this explainer, I want to emphasize a core philosophy of active learning. Recognizing your mistakes and your struggles is a vital, totally expected part of the process. This brings us to metacognition. Metacognition is simply reflecting on what you do, how you do it, and why you do it, so you can deeply understand your own learning process. Think of it as your academic superpower. It's like an elite athlete watching game tape to improve their swing, or a gamer analyzing their strategy to figure out why they lost a boss fight. I want to reassure you. If you struggled with an irregular verb spelling earlier, or if figuring out your sentence structure felt like untying a critical knot, that is 100% normal. That friction, that's your brain actively learning, leveling up, and rewiring itself. Let me leave you with one final metacognitive question to chew on. What was the absolute hardest part of writing your story today? Was it remembering the bizarre spelling of those linguistic fossils? Was it knowing which time expression to use to set the perfect scene? Or was it just wrangling your chaotic ideas into clear sentences? Whatever it was, take a moment to pinpoint it, because identifying your critical knot isn't a failure. It is literally the map to your next big breakthrough. Thank you so much for hanging out with me in this explainer. Keep practicing those verbs, keep telling your brilliant stories, and I will see you next time.